Hey guys, welcome to the first battle report of this channel. In this video we are playing Warhammer 40k in a 500 points match that sees Tyranids vs Astra Militarum. I'm Simone and I will play Astra.
Hi, I'm Andrea and I'm going to play Tyranids. Before we started, we wanted to let you know that we just opened the channel. It would help us a lot if you could subscribe. And don't forget to activate the bell so you don't miss the next battle report. Thank you guys.
Today's mission is Encircle, taken from the core rules book. The two armies will have to deploy within these two areas. There are 4 battle objectives and they are arranged in this way. As secondary objectives, Tyranids have chosen First Strike, Line Breaker and Psychic Ritual, while Astra Militarum have Slay the Warlord, While We Stand We Fight and Encircle. The match will last 5 rounds, at the end of which whoever has accumulated more victory points will win. Both armies start with 3 command points as both are organized as combat patrol.
Let's move on to the description of the armies. My Tyranids belong to the Hydra Hive Fleet. Their goal for this match will be to get as close as possible to the opponent in the first round, while staying hidden from enemy fire, forcing the Astra to move into a comfortable position for him. As HQ, I chose a High Tyrant armed with a heavy venom cannon, a pair of monstrous running claws, and a prehensile pincer tail. As general trait, he has murderous sights, and my weapon of choice are the monstrous running claws. The relic I gave him is Resonance Barb, which allows him to manifest an additional psychic power. I chose this relic to make up for the shortage of ranged weapons. The High Tyrant can only choose 2 psychic power from the list, and I had chosen Catalyst and Death Streak, in addition to Noise Might as basic one. The Maleceptor is armed with massive sighting talons and can choose a psychic power from the list, and I have chosen Death Streak, as well as Might as the base additional power. The Maleceptor will be useful in close combat to take on the vehicles the Astra can play. Also, it has an interesting ability called Psychic Overload, which can put the opponent's units in serious trouble. Next on the list are the 3 Tyranid warriors, armed with 2 pairs of sighting talons. I plan to use them to threaten the flanks of the Astra and reach more distant objectives. Last but not least, 15 Harmagons, whose task will be to attract the fire of the enemies and hold their attention, ready to charge it down as soon as possible.
It's time to introduce you to my Cadian's regiment, or what's left of them at least. My goal is to eliminate the opposing Psykers as soon as possible to equalize my disadvantage in that phase, so I've deployed several heavy weapons. It will be important to try to have a clear line of sight to put his main pieces in check. The general of the army is a company commander for Franz Claudio. He is armed with a power sword as well as last pistol and frag grenades. As warlord trait, I chose Grand Strategist. I hope it will help me recover some command points. I really need them. Also, as a relic, I chose the Deathmask of Ollanius, which grants him an invulnerable save of 4+, just to keep him alive a little longer and allow him to give orders until the end. The first Infantry Squad is the 005, also called Gunther's Rats, a unit that survived the destruction of Cadian and famous for surviving in any situation. It's equipped with Vox-caster and there's a heavy weapon team armed with Lascannon. The second Infantry Squad is the 609, also called the Diehards. At the time of the destruction of Cadian, they were on their way to the planet to rescue it, but they did not arrive in time. Now they seek atonement for their sin by seeking death in battle. They too have a Vox-caster and a Lascannon armed heavy weapon team. The command squad is Claudio's personal guard. It is made up of 4 members. They are equipped with 3 lasguns, a plasma gun, and a Vox-caster to allow the company commander to give orders even to squads far away from him. The Sentinel is my army's reconnaissance unit. Its name is Sheila and it's armed with a multi-laser. Its goal will be to reach distant objectives and threaten the Tyranid flank. The Chimera is the troop transport assigned to this detachment. It has good firepower for the points it costs and is useful for supporting infantry units in case of need. It's armed with a multi-laser, a heavy bolter and 2 lasgun arrays. And finally, there is the Liman Ras, my main piece, capable of taking down the big monsters of the Tyranids. I rely heavily on it to get rid of the biggest problems. It is armed with a battle cannon and a heavy bolter.
Okay, I won the choice on where to deploy.
Damn! He has free range now, and I end up with obscure line of sight. Certainly not a good start for me.
Yep, this means that I can launch the Harmagan forward. And thanks to the buildings, I can keep the important pieces covered from the Liman Ras hits.
It will actually be difficult for me to target what I want.
Now it will all depend on who starts the first round. I aim to control the 2 nearby objectives and advance with the Harmagans.
I didn't have a lot of space to deploy my big guns. I have the view blocked for the Liman Ras in any position and I chose to put it where it can cover the most ground. I aim to take control of the 2 objectives close to me and I hope to have the first round to make the most of the shooting phase.
Before the battle begins, I use a command point for the stratagem Progeny of the Hive, which allows me to give an adaptive physiology to a unit and I give it to the Maleceptor. I chose Murderous Sights. Let's roll to see who goes first. Black ties for Tyranids and white for Astra.
What?
Yes!
Oh come on! Never a joy! It's going to be hard, guys. Wish me luck.
Good luck.
Thank you.
First, I rolled to advance with the Hormagaunts. And 6. I couldn't ask for better. Huh. I'm already nearby the objective 2 and the Infantry Squad. So close.
Damn. Are you already there? And I can't even shoot you from here.
Now it's the Maleceptor's turn. He also stepped forward and advanced. 1. Huh. Don't get too tired. Well, at least it's enough to make him control the objective. The Hive Tyrant moves on the objective and takes cover. The warriors advance and roll 2. Come on, really guys? A little commitment. At this point, I should keep them covered. Time for Psychic phase. First of all, I cast that streak on Hormagaunts with the Maleceptor. It has a warp charge of 5 and it passes. Then the Hive Tyrant throws Catalyst, again on the Hormagaunts to give them additional protection. It has a warp charge of 6 and enters. Hormagaunts on a 5+ now ignore wounds taken. The Tyrant's second power is the Smite on the nearest visible unit. It has a warp charge of 5 and therefore passes. Deals D3 damage, 2 deaths.
Bye guys.
Not done yet. The relic that the Tyrant has allows him to cast another power, so second smite on them again. This time on 6. Success. D3 damage, and 2 more deaths. There are still too many for my taste.
Seriously?
I used the stratagem Power of the Hive Mind on the Tyrant for a command point to cast an extra power. Guess what? Smite on the same again.
I hate you.
Fail. Anyway.
I call it karma. They don't look good, but I have to admit, it could have been worse.
Shooting phase. The Hive Tyrant targets the Infantry Squad with the heavy venom cannon. D3 attacks and 1. Hits on 3 or more. Yes! Strength 9, Toughness 3, Wounds on 2. Obviously 1. Morale phase.
I can't afford any more deaths in the unit, so I use the stratagem Fight to Death, which allows me to roll a d3 instead of a d6, which means I don't even need to roll because they automatically pass it. Honestly, I thought it was much worse. My turn. All in all, it's not a bad situation. I don't have the Hive Tyrant in sight as I hoped, but I have some targets. I can go ahead with my initial plan and move on to control the 2 objectives nearby. Gunther's rats are too exposed to a Hormagaun charge and reduce in number, so they will embark on the Chimera, which will then move on to claim the objective. The Sentinel will begin flanking. The Diehards will instead take possession of Objective 4. Moving the team close to the objective, I finally have a full view of the Tyrant. This is good news. If the Lascannon hits, it could do a lot of damage. As you saw earlier, the Hive Tyrant is dangerous. I need to take him out as soon as possible. The Lima Ras moves to target the Maleceptor on the right flank. The tank moves only 4 inches while remaining under half the movement. Claudio and his guards position themselves so that he can give orders to the team of diehards. The range of orders is 6 inches, but if the company commander is close to a Vox-caster, the range is extended to 18. The Sentinel leaves room for the Chimera to move as Gunther's team embarks. The Sentinel, however, is too exposed to a charge of the Hormagaunts, so I just have to block the way with the Chimera, and at the same time keep the objective. Andrea can still get around it, but there's not much more I can do about it. Since I don't have Psykers, we can move on to my favorite phase, shooting. Claudio's orders are take aim on the command squad and first rank fire, second rank fire on diehards. The first order allows me to reroll the ones to hit, while the second changes the lasgun's weapon type to rapid fire 2. I start with the diehard's lasgun shooting on the Hive Tyrant. There are 14 shots thanks to the order first rank fire, second rank fire. They hit at 4. 9 hit, not bad! Lot of dice for this single unit. Cloud is proud of you, guys! Strength 3, Toughness 7, 6 to wound. 1. Oh, come on! I'm taking back what I just said.
No penetration, so 3+ save. Saved.
Of course. Lascannon on the Tyrant, the team moved then hit at 5, and yes! Strength 9, Toughness 7, 3 to wound. Oh no. I use the command point to reroll. Wounded.
I used invulnerable save to ignore penetration. Saving at 4. No way. Command point to reroll. Oh, that's better.
D6 wounds, and yes! This is what I need. I try to retrieve the command point at 5, and nope.
I will have my revenge.
The plasma gun is the only model within range of the Tyranid warriors, so it's the only one that fires, and I decide to make an overcharged shot. But I have to be careful because on a roll of a 1, it would explode. 4 to hit, and oops. Luckily I can reroll thanks to the take aim order, and still fails. It's time for the Liman Ras. Shoot twice with the battle cannon for moving under half the movement, then 2d6. 9 shots, great! Hit on 4. Oh, okay. Wait, what? Just 1? Really?
Good enough for me.
I bet. Well, 3 to wound. I refuse to comment. Heavy bolter time. 3 attacks, hitting at 4. To hit. Strength 5, toughness 7, wounding at 5. Just 1.
Penetration -1, so I need a 4. Yes, saved!
Now it's up to the Chimera and the Sentinel. Let's see if they can do better. Heavy bolter of the Chimera on the Maleceptor. 3 shots, hitting at 4. To hit. Strength 5, toughness 7, 5 to hit. Oh, both!
-1 penetration, so saving at 4. Easy.
Multi-laser on the Ormagons. 3 shots, 4 plus. Just 1. This time strength 6 and toughness 3, so I needed 2. Really? The Lascannon Ray, 6 shots for the short range of the rapid fire, hitting at 4 and 4 hit. 4 to wound. All of them.
No penetration, so saving at 6. All fail. Ignore wounds for Catalyst at 5. 3 dead.
Finally something good! Thank you!
Thanks to the Deathstreak psychic power casted on Harmagons, I roll 8 dice for each dead, and for every 6, I inflict a mortal wound on the nearest enemy unit. So for convenience, we finish the shooting phase first, and then check the dead.
Sentinels multi-laser on the Ormagons. 3 shots, hitting at 4. All of them. Wounding at 2. And all 3 wound.
No penetration, so saving at 6. None. Ignoring wounds at 5. It's okay, take your time. 1 dead body. 4 total deaths. So, thanks to Deathstreak, I roll 4d6, and for every 6, it's a mortal wound to the Chimera.
1 6, so 11 wounds left. Now my favorite part, watching you remove the dead. 1 2 3 Oh 4, good boy. Unfortunately, the Tyranids automatically pass the morale tests if in range of units with synapses. Therefore, end of the first turn. All in all, the first round could have been better for both of us.
Definitely. I missed one of my secondary goals, First Blood. In any case, the primary objectives are starting to score points from round 2. So, the best is yet to come.
Yes, I was hoping to do some damage with the Liman Ras, but it's evident that it's still warming up the aim. At least I saved Gunther Rats from destruction and killed a few Ormagons.
At this point, I had to find a way to force Simone to move the Liman Ras. First of all, at the beginning of the round, I take my first 10 victory points for controlling objectives 1 and 3. I want to advance with the warriors to contest the objective 4, and get within charge range with the Maleceptor. The fewer targets I offer the Liman Ras, the better. The first to move are the Tyranid warriors. I roll to advance with them. Since I can't charge this turn, I put them in cover from the Astra fire, and the next turn I'll try to contest the objective. I bring the Hive Tyrant a little closer to the Infantry Squad to smite them. I move the Harmagons to contest the objective too. I would have preferred to charge the Infantry Squad, but I can also be happy with the Chimera, as long as I'm close to the objective. Now that I've made room for the Maleceptor, I can move it to charge range.
I don't know why, but I have a feeling that smites are about to raid.
Ah, Arias here. We keep the best for later. Let's start with the Maleceptor casting Psychic Overload on the Chimera. With a 6, it deals 3 mortal wounds. Close to bad, just 1 wound. Now the fun part.
Speak for yourself.
3 smites on the Infantry Squad incoming. The first enters F5. With 11 plus, it makes d6 wounds, and thanks to the relic, I have a +1 to the result. Roll the d6. 1. Reroll with the command point. 3.
Better than before. Bye, guys.
Second smite at 6. Almost. D3 wounds. At least give me a 6 now. Yes!
Here we go.
Third smite, this time on the 7. Yeah.
Thank God.
Wait before thanking him. Now that's the shooting phase. The Hive Tyrant fires the heavy venom cannon on the Infantry Squad. D3 shots. 3. Good. Hit on 3. Okay, not good. Strength 9, Toughness 3, wounding at 2. 1 dead.
7 wounds in 1 turn, and that's what's left of them. Sad story.
I hope I don't miss the charges on the Chimera, considering that they're pretty close. Maleceptor first. Entered. Yes. Now it's time for the little ones. Please don't fail me. They enter too. I had deployed them in order to block the escape to the Chimera.
No escape here. This is victory or death. Cadian stands!
I start with the Maleceptor, making 3 attacks that hit on a 4+. None. Luckily, with the Massive Setting Talons, I can reroll the ones to hit. Still nothing. 22 Harmagans attacks on 4+, divided into 3 groups. 1, 2, and 3. Rerolling the ones. 11 hits. Strength 3, Toughness 7 at 6. And 4 went through.
Okay, saving at 3. Just 1 wound.
22 attacks and 1 wound?
It happens. Well, it's my turn to attack. 3 attacks on 6. Great job. With 7 dead, I would have to roll a 1 with a d6 to pass the test, but I can't afford to lose the objective now, so I use the stratagem Insane Bravery at the cost of 2 command points, which allows me to pass it automatically. Then I try to retrieve a command point with the Warlord trait at 5+, and nope. At the beginning of my turn, I collect only 5 victory points thanks to the Diehards who control objective 4. Apparently, Andrea managed to keep his units covered from the side of Limaras, and that's a problem for me. I'm forced to move it to look out for targets to hit. The Chimera can't make it retreat from the fight, so I can only move the Sentinel towards objective 1. Claudio and his guards move in a better position to target the warriors. The Limaras moving 10 inches will lose the chance to shoot twice, but at least I will have a chance to take out the Hive Tyrant. It would definitely be a good shot. The Sentinel advances with a nice... 3. Moving towards the target and leaving the Chimera to its fate. See ya, guys! The Diehards have unfortunately lost their Vox-caster, so Claudio has only 1 order to give. The command squad receives the order Take Aim, which allows them to reroll the ones to hit. At the start of the shooting phase, I use the stratagem Go Recon for the Sentinel, which allows it to move 2d6 instead of shooting, bringing it directly next to the objective. I try to record the command point at 5, and... no. Diehards fire on the warriors with lasguns and the Surgeon's Pistol at 4+, which means 4 shots hit, and wounding at 5, 1.
Warriors have light cover. Save a 3+. Saved!
The command squad follows the lead and they shoot as well against the warriors. The plasma gun overcharges, protected from the risk of exploding, being able to reroll the 1 to hit. Black dice for the plasma gun and white for the las guns, all hit at 4. Guess who misses the shot? 2 shots entered, wounding at 5. 1 wound.
As before, saving a 3+, and it fails.
Wow, a wound! Well, I hope to have a little more luck with the Lima Ras. Only 1d6 of shots this time. 2. I was hoping for something better, honestly.
That's okay with me.
And both fade. What's happening today? 3 heavy bolter hits at 4. 2 hit. They wound at 5. Oh, sorry. And just 1.
Invulnerability at 4+. Goodbye!
Ah, Chimera saved me from this. Let's kill some little monsters. 3 shots of the multi-laser at 4. Everyone! Strength 6, toughness 3, wounding at 2. And of course, just 1.
Saving at 6. 1 dead. It's okay. It doesn't matter.
3 heavy bolter hits at 4. Known. I rerolled the 1 to hit thanks to the Cadian rule. Hit! The heavy bolter has strength 5, so wound at 3. Yes!
It has penetration -1, so he's dead.
6 shots from the last gun array at 4. 4 hit. Strength 4 and toughness 4 for 2 wound. Lots of force in this sentence. 2 wounds!
Saving at 6. 2 dead.
Fighting turn. The opponent starts first.
Starting with the Maleceptor, 3 attacks on 4+. Ooh, all through. Wounding at 3. D6 plus 1 damage for each wound. Let's hope for that. 6 wounds.
With -4 armor penetration, I just have to remove that little dice. With only 3 wounds left, the Chimera's attacks are now D3. 2 attacks. Hitting at 6. Wow, 1 hit. Wounding at 2. Yes!
No penetration, so saving at 6.
Bye, you little annoying creature!
The annoying creature respawned. 12 attacks on 4. I reroll the 1. 11 hits. 6 to wound. 4 went through.
I need 3+ to save. All saved! Nice! The Chimera, I don't know how, survived the fight.
Not for long.
It has been a terrible turn for me. The Lima Rust missed everything on the Hive Tyrant and the Chimera was left with 3 wounds. I have to come up with something to turn the game in my favor.
At the beginning of my 3rd round, I earned another 10 points thanks to objectives 2 and 3, and I reached a total of 20 victory points. Now it's time to hurt him. I had to take away as many objectives as possible and get into combat with the Lima Ras. I moved the warriors closer to the infantry squad to avoid failing the charge. Don't worry, I don't bite. They do. Approaching with the High Tyrant too. Let's go straight to the psionic phase. Let's start with the nice might on the Chimera. Pass with 5. D3 wounds. A nice 5 or 6 please. There we go.
It's a classic. Please leave with a boom. If I do 6, the Chimera explodes. Yes! Boom! Let's bring some more maggots with us. D3 mortal wounds to each nearby unit. 1 dead on the little ones. And... Come on. Come on. 2 wounds on the Maleceptor. Nicely done, Chimera. You have proved your worth. Gunther's rats quickly disembark from the vehicle before it explodes. I roll a dice for each. Everyone is a death. Just 1, sorry mate, bad luck. The rest line up nearby, ready to take charge from Tyranids. Yay.
It's time to think about one of the secondary objectives, the ritual. It has a warp charge of 3, so I need anything but double 1 or double 6, which would trigger the parries of the warp. which is bad thing.
Oh my god, yes!
Here we go. Reroll with a command point.
Nah, come on! Oh, please tell me there's another 6 book there.
Nope.
Ah, close.
Smite on the Liman Ras at 6. Nah.
Oh boy, I saw another double one there.
Another smite on the Liman Ras, this time at 7. Yes! D3 damage. 1. Meh. 11 wounds left to the Liman Ras. This is the end of the psionic phase. It wasn't too bad, but it could have been better. In this phase I just had to shoot with the High Tyrant on the Liman Ras. D3 attacks. 1. Hitting with 4. 2. Nice stuff. Charge! The High Tyrant on the Liman Ras. Anything other than double 1 and the charge goes in. Here we go. The warriors are close enough to automatically join the fight, so I don't even roll. If I take out the Infantry Squad, I have the chance to consolidate directly on the Liman Ras and hold the objective at the same time. While on this side, who is protecting you now that there's no Chimera around? Both units are close enough, so I don't have to roll the dice. I'm coming. Ouch. Let's start with 3 attacks of the Maleceptor, hitting at 4. Just 1. Wounding at 2. 1 dead man. 10 Harmagant's attacks, hit on 4. I reroll once, and wounding on 4. 6!
No penetration, so I save it 5+. Okay. Goodbye. It was nice to see you being useless. Leave me.
Damn close. And now 12 warriors attacks, hitting at 3. 10 went through. I wound with 3+, 9 wounds.
Feels hard, doing 9 times 5 or 6? Let's try anyway. Ah, so close! Pity. Wow, I'm with no infantry squads now.
Warriors can now consolidate 3 inches on the closest enemy unit, so the Liman Ras. Although they will not be able to fight in this turn because they have already fought. Now High Tyrant, I choose you! There are 4 monster trending close attacks with the white dice and 1 black dice for the tail. All 3+ and all hit. Wounding at 5. Not even 1. A close rule allows me to reroll failed dice to wound. 1. With -4 penetration, I deny its armor, so it takes D3 plus 1 damage. 3 wounds to the Liman Ras.
It's my turn to respond with 3 attacks that hit at 6, but I aim for the warriors who just joined the fight. 2 hit. I wounded 3. 1 wound.
I save at 4. Ah, he got me. He's left with only 1 wound. This round went pretty well considering 3 units destroyed and control of the field. Now all I have to do is to eliminate the Liman Ras and the game should be mine.
Well guys, I have to admit I'm not in a good situation, but I still have a couple of moves to make that can turn the tables. The Sentinel next to the Objective 1 gives me 5 victory points that lead me to 10, not so far from Andrea actually. This turn I have the chance to take more points with my secondary objective and Circle. I just have to move the Sentinel completely into the opposing zone. Also, if the dice favor me, I could get rid of the Tyranid warriors and take control of Objective 4. Claudio approaches the warriors ready for a charge, but staying within 6 inches of the command squad to give them orders. At the moment, they can shoot Tyranids in close combat, but maybe I can change that. The Sentinel advances towards the opponent's deployment zone. It's 12 inches away from fully entering the zone, so I need to roll a 3+. And yes, he did it! This move will allow me to get another 5 victory points at the end of the turn, bringing me just 5 points behind Andrea. Claudio gives the order take aim to the command squad, allowing them to reroll once to hit in the shooting phase, but due to the Cadian trait, because they haven't moved, they can instead reroll all failed hit rolls. Guys, this is a crucial moment. As long as the warriors are in combat, I can't fire on them with the command squad, but the Lima Russ can. Unfortunately, the battle cannon is a blast weapon, so it can't be used in combat, but the heavy bolter can. If I could take out the warrior with 1 wound left, I would take them out of the fight and the command squad could fire on them, and Claudio could charge the survivors in order to get to contest the objective. Wish me luck, guys. 3 heavy bolter attacks on warriors shooting in combat with heavy weapon, hit at 5. 1 hit. Wounding at 3. Yes! Don't save it, please!
Penetration -1, so saving at 5.
I don't believe it, it really worked!
I shouldn't have engaged with the injured Tyranid.
Now that the warriors are out of the combat, I can shoot them with the others as well. Claudio is close enough to throw a frag grenades at them. D6 hits. Ooh, 6! I hit at 3+. 4 hit! Strength 3, toughness 4. I need 5s. Oh, 2 went through.
Penetration 0, so saving at 4. 1 wound.
Yes! So far so good. Now it's time for the command squad. I start with the last guns that being rapid fire 1, at short range they fire twice. Same thing for the plasma gun. 6 last gun shots at 4. I repeat the failed shots thanks to take aim. 4 hit. Wounding at 5. 2 wounds.
No penetration, so saving at 3.
Oh my god!
Yay.
Guys, everything is going the right way. Now it's up to the overcharged plasma gun. I need him to hit only 1 shot, cause if he dies, Claudio won't be able to charge. 2 shots at 4. Oops, I did all thanks to take aim. Yeah, definitely better. Wounding at 2. That's perfect, guys.
-3 penetration, saving with 6.
No!
Not today.
I can't believe it! Everything was going perfectly. Damn 6! Okay, I just have 1 move to make, hoping for the best. Claudio charges the last warrior. Go, Claudio! Woof! He nearly failed the charge. Now I can contest the objective. Claudio attacks first thanks to the charge. 3 attacks on 3+. I reroll 1 dice with the command point, I need to heal him. Perfect, all 3 hit. Claudio has the power sword, which gives him +1 in strength. So strength 4, toughness 4, wounding at 4. Nah.
-3 penetration, so I can't save it.
I don't believe it. If he hadn't done 6 before, he would have died.
Now it's my turn to fight, the Tyrant on the Lima Russ. White dice for the claws, and black dice for the tail. I hit on 3. Wound on 5. Rerolling failed wound dice for the claws characteristic. For every 6, there are 3 +1 wounds, while the other dice is D3 +1 wounds. Three, for a total of 8 wounds with penetration -7 and 3 wounds with -4.
Sorry, what just happened?
A magic trick, the Lima Russ just disappeared.
Okay, I guess. Let's see if it explodes at 6. Nope. Okay, I didn't see that coming, guys. Things are getting a little bit complicated now.
And the combat phase isn't even over. Now it's the warrior's turn. 4 attacks on Claudio, they hit on 3+. With the satin talons, I can reroll 1 to hit. All of them went through. Wound at 3. I used up my luck with the Lima Russ, I would say.
No penetration, saving at 4+ thanks to his relic. Or not. 3 wounds left for Claudio. Thanks to the position of the Sentinel and the command squad, I earn 5 points of the secondary objective and circle and go to 15 victory points. Everything was going perfectly before Andrea saved the warrior with that 6. Also, the claws of the High Tyrant cut the armor of the Lima Russ like butter. I don't know, I don't have much left to do without the Lima Russ, but let's see.
At the start of my 4th round, I control an objective, and having more objectives than the opponent, I earn 10 victory points, reaching 30. Now I have to try to eliminate the sentinel that could create problems and regain control of objective 4. I move the Tyrant in order to keep the objective and have both Claudio and the sentinel in range of the smite. Then I approach with the Maleceptor to attempt the charge, in case I fail to eliminate the sentinel in the previous phases. While the Hormagaunts keep control of the objective nearby and at the same time hide from the possible fire of the common squad. I don't think the common squad is a problem at this point, but better be sure. Being within 6 inches from the center of the battlefield, I begin the psionic phase by performing the psychic ritual with the Tyrant for the secondary objective. Enters at 3. Good! Claudio is the closest enemy unit, so smite on him. Warp charge of 5. Perfect! D3 damage. 3. Just right. Bye, Claudio.
You did good. It's not your fault.
Second smite with a warp charge of 6 on the sentinel this time. Enters. D3 wounds. 2. Not bad.
4 wounds left.
Maleceptor smites the sentinel at 7. Failed. Shooting phase. The Hive Tyrant fires the heavy venom cannon on the sentinel. D3 shots. Just 1. I hit at 4. Nothing. That was quick. To enter the fight, I need at least a 7. There we go. The sentinel is about to come to a bad end. Having charged, the Maleceptor attacks first with 3 attacks at 4+. All hit. Wounding at 3. I reroll the dice because it's in the balance. 2 wounds. Being d6 plus 1 damage each and penetration minus 4, I would say he is dead.
Brave, brave Sentinel. Not many troops of mine remain on the battlefield, so we can consider the game closed with a total victory of the Tyranids. I honestly don't think there was much more I could do. I mean, dice were cruel to me in this game. I would have expected something more from the Leman Russ, who didn't give its best in this match.
You were actually very unlucky with the dice, and I was very lucky. Probably the area of deployment and the first round obtained by me have affected a lot on the result. Also, if the Leman Russ hadn't missed the shots on the Hive Tyrant in the second round, the game could have gone differently.
Let us know in the comments what you think and which armies you would like to see in the next battle reports. We would like to create an active community around the channel and make sure that you all can become part of this project, so if you like the video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel.
Being our first video, it would help us a lot if you could follow the channel. And if you want custom updates on upcoming videos and miniatures photos, you can also follow the Instagram account. The link is in the description.
That's it, guys!
See you next video!